My name is Oliver Block and I work at Skeleton Key. Today I'm going to show you how to mount an ISO image on Windows XP or Windows Server 2003. An ISO image is a file that contains an archive of a CD or a DVD. Normally when you download an ISO file from a server manufacturer or a software publisher, use a CD burning tool to burn the ISO to disk. Sometimes it's convenient though to access those files without having to burn it to disk. There are several third-party tools that let you mount ISO images, but Microsoft provides a free, unsupported tool called Windows XP Virtual CD, and it works great. Although it has Windows XP in the title, this tool works perfectly on Windows Server 2003 as well. Because it's an unsupported tool, Microsoft doesn't have an official dedicated download page for it. But if you know the name of the installer, it's easy to find on Microsoft's website. So I'm just going to launch a web browser, and we'll search for the installer by name. The name of the installer is WinXP Virtual CD Control Panel _21.exe. If I search the web for that, I can easily find several Microsoft knowledge base articles that contain a link to the download for it. Here's one. I'm going to download the tool and save it right to my desktop. Alright, this is the Windows XP tool. I'm going to launch it, and it wants to extract itself. I'm going to extract it right to the root of my C drive and put it in a folder called Virtual CD. Now I'll navigate to that directory. And you can see the Virtual CD directory contains three files: a README file that has some instructions, the actual tool itself, which is the vcdcontroltool.exe, and a driver file called vcdrom.sys. Go ahead and launch the tool. And you can see why this is an unsupported tool. The interface is pretty bare bones, but it's pretty easy to use. We're going to run down these buttons over on the right from top to bottom. So we'll start at driver control. First thing we need to do is install the driver. Click Install Driver, and the driver file is right in that Virtual CD folder. That's all there is for installing it, and then we just need to start the driver. So click Start, and that's it. Press OK. The next thing we need to do is add a drive letter where the ISO will be mounted. So just click Add Drive. It automatically creates a Z drive. You can actually create multiple drives and mount multiple ISOs if you want, but I'll just leave the one Z drive. And the next thing to do is mount the ISO. So I'm going to click Mount and navigate to my desktop where I have an ISO file I downloaded from VMware. So I'm going to double click it and press OK to use the default options. And it's mounted. I'm going to press OK to close the tool. And if I go back to my computer, we can now see that I have a Z drive, which I didn't have before. And if I open that up, I can get to the files that are in that ISO. So as you can see from my computer interface, Windows sees this just as a CD-ROM drive, but it's all virtual. It's just mounting that ISO. I can use the files, run programs, run an installer, do what I need to do, and I didn't have to burn it to disk. When I'm all done, I just go back to the tool, and I can highlight the disk in question, the ISO in question, and hit eject. And that takes care of it. If I leave it right there and I go to my computer, you can see I still have the Z drive, but there's no disk mounted, just as if it was a real physical CD drive and there was no disk in there. If I want to get rid of the Z drive, I can go back to the tool and highlight it and just choose Remove Drive. And the Z drive is gone. And that's all there is to it. That is mounting an ISO file on Windows XP or Windows Server 2003 using Microsoft's free Virtual CD tool.